Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester. Only Winston is, I guess, on vacation. He's asked me to fill in and tag out and get in the ball game, as I've said in the past. I'm thrilled to be here. Y'all got this traffic down here has done got out of control. It ain't like it was back in the 70s when I was coming down here to the beaches and what have you, but it's getting pretty bad on 231. But it's an economy. That's what it's all about. Again, welcome. Weather is brought to you by Gulf Coast Air Conditioning, taking care of all your everyday comfort, or I like to say necessities. This last summer, boy howdy, let me tell you what, mine went out on me back in the end of June. Boy, let me tell you, the ringing the phone, please come, please come. Had to go sell some aluminum cans, some scrap metal, and a few yard dogs or something to get the money up to pay them, but they got it done. I'm kidding. High is in the 90s, and it's going to do that for a little bit longer, but y'all know what? The low's going to be 71, but the nights are getting longer, the days are getting shorter, the nights are just a little bit cooler, a lower humidity. Make a puppy pull a freight train. Looking forward to it a whole bunch. Lower humidity, that's what I like to see. Water temperature brought to you by Miranda Coffee Company, 87 degrees. As I said earlier, it's going to start dropping slowly but surely. You know that. As I said, these nights are getting longer. The sun's coming up later and going to bed earlier, and it's going to improve, and it's going to fix to do it pretty quick, I suspect. Plus, it's just the way it is. All right? Moon phase brought to you by Panama City Coca-Cola. A waning crescent, 72% is visible, and guess what? It's going full on the 7th. Yeah, if that's something you do to follow that so you can go out and go fishing, because I didn't mention earlier, the wind is only 5 miles an hour in the afternoon. It's just right. Because right here, listen to this, right here, listen. Tide brought to you by Kent Forest Lawn. High tide is at 7:52 in the morning, low tide at 6:23. That's going to get a little bit better tomorrow because it's going to high a little bit later in the morning. And then the same thing in the afternoon, so you'll have time to get out there and catch that water moving, as Winston talks about all the time. All right, we're going to let you go off and get another cup of coffee and come back and see us in just a second, okay? All right, we're glad to have you back again. Yeah. Sit down in that chair right there and turn the volume up. The wife ain't even got out of the bed good yet. Look here. Don't let the old man in is my new, my wife bought me a t-shirt, but I couldn't find it this morning trying to get it together. That song Toby Keith sang, Don't Let the Old Man In, because now that I'm retired, somehow the light goes off and arthritis starts kicking in, and you're stiff and you're sore and you don't want to move around as much, and you have to make yourself get up and stir. That's what I'm talking about today, finding ways to get out and stir, because everybody ain't got a place to hunt. Everybody ain't got a boat to fish with, but you can do some things, and one thing I like to talk about is what Winston spoke of the other day. Football season. Everybody likes to sit there and watch football game because you ain't got to get up and do nothing but eat popcorn and drink some buttermilk. But look here, I like that high school football. Played on a state championship football team in Bluntstown. I sat on the bench the whole time and and drank water, you know, and looked at the cheerleaders. I did that a whole bunch, yeah. But high school football, and I say that because supporting these schools and these athletes, these kids have been out there since over in early August. And you've been back at the house complaining and belly aching about the heat and humidity. And they've been out there and doing it, and them coaches have too. Gosh, man. And they need your support. Now that in the afternoon the sun goes down, that weather is just turning off nice, just nice. Look here. If you're looking for a place to go, Bluntstown is at Bozeman. Bluntstown Tigers, that's pretty good, going to be at Bozeman. That's going to be a slobber knocker. Woo, I'm talking about. Port St. Joe is hosting Liberty County. That's going to be a good ball game too. Oh boy. Wilson Myers, I know real well, plays for Liberty County. He'll be playing for Liberty County out there, busting some heads. Rutherford hosts Chipley. Holmes at Walton. Vernon hosts Weewaw-Hitchika. Graceville at Sneeds. Bay High is at North Bay Haven. Mosley at Rickards. Now, if I miss somebody else, I apologize. Because my Pop-Tart had popped up in the toaster and I got distracted. So anyhow, just to talking about that football. Go out there and participate. Spend a little bit of that money on helping those schools out. They need it. They could use it. One other thing I'm going to talk about for just a second. There's talk. There's talk that they talking about the Corps is going to dredge the Apalachicola River. Now, you people in Panama City couldn't care less about something like that. But if you live Chattahoochee, Bluntstown, Weewall, the Apalachicola, and all those tributaries there where all those camps are, you're very interested in that. Because you know why? When I was a boy, you run up and down that river regular, watching for stumps or stuff like that. The snag boat can't go up and down that river right now. Why? Because it's full of stumps here and there. Something that'll surprise you. Because different water levels, they get exposed. Running betwixt the buoys, the river level was always, for the most part, maintained an 8-foot channel. 8 foot for that barge traffic that used to go up and down that river an awful lot. Not no more. Not no more. I don't know when, but some people can tell you it's been years. Look here, it's sealed it in there. They talking about dredging it. I think they need to dredge it for safety. Save some lives out there, all right? Y'all think about that a whole lot. Hey, we're gonna take another break. Y'all come right back and see me in just a minute. Hey, glad to have you back again. Now the wife's got up. She's gonna make you one of them quiches in there somewhere. No. Scramble you some eggs or something. Look here, I wanna give a shout out. I was at Alpha School with my granddaughter's Beta Club induction, and I saw Mr. Darrell Taylor, the Calhoun County School Superintendent, there as he left. He saw me and recognized me. He said, I know who you are from watching. He said, every morning he has his coffee and sipping that coffee and watch his Panhandle outdoors with Winston Chester. And we do appreciate it a whole bunch. Yeah, he's managing, running that school, looking for school teachers, doing a great job for him, and we're thrilled to have him. I went to the Calhoun County school system. That ain't saying a whole lot, no smarter than what I am. But at any rate, thrilled to hear from him. Look here. We talking about you going to football games to find something to do with your time. If you can't hunt and you ain't got nowhere to hunt, you can shoot clays. Look here, if you don't know much about it, and that's just what that is right there, it's a clay. Back of my field is just slap full. Well, not no more because they'll decompose and break down. But shooting clays, and it's easy as eating lettuce. Let me tell you what, that thing right there at Walmart, you can buy a whole case of clays for less than $12. Slide it in there, snap it back. You can have somebody, your grandson can stand there, your grandma can stand there. Somebody can throw them for you. You can shoot the clays or you sling them for grandma for all I care. Yeah, and enjoy yourself and take up some time with somebody else and teach your grandson, the little 410 that you shoot. And I say that because dove season is right here almost upon us. Dove season starts September 27th through October 19th. November the 8th, it comes back in again. November the 30th, it goes out. December 19th comes in. January 31st goes out. September 27th, it comes in. Get you some clays, get out there and practice, because if you shoot with me, I need practice, boy howdy. I need it. My son-in-law will nod affirmative, Chris Pavitt. Yes, sir. What I brought today is food plots, and I'm going to show a picture or two in just a few minutes. That right there are in abundance right now in the woods. In an abundance. No, it ain't a grape. No. Huh? What? No, a bunch of y'all know what that is right there. A persimmon. A persimmon, and it's very ripe right now. If you don't, you can eat it, but if you don't eat it when it's real ripe, you can't take it hardly. Scuplins. A bunch of y'all was raised on scuplins. I've got some of them here. They're in abundance in the woods right now. Deer are eating up the persimmons, eating up the scuplins. They're eating up on the browse, and they love, in Jackson County, they love the peanut vines that's growing out there. That peanut's in the ground, that vine grows out and laps over, and then deer love to browse on that stuff right there. Of course, I brought some seed. I've been planting some peas and some sunflowers. There's some iron clay peas in there, and you'll see a picture in a few minutes of me doing that. And it coming up already, watching that rain, trying to get it ahead of it. And I planted a little bit of corn at home. That's pitiful right there. But I'm not planting it to do what? To eat it off the cob. I'm just planting it for deer to be able to get out there and browse on and work it, trying to get to it so they don't eat so much of it. Yeah. Archery, bow season, you can start preparing for that. There's an abundance of game out there, a pile of it. Wow. I ride around every afternoon looking. November 21st, October 21st through November the 22nd. I'm going to be working the check station this year during bow season. Y'all come by and see me sitting on the porch. Or we'll open up a keg of staples and have a straightening. Come by and see me. October 21st, November the 22nd is bow season. And come by and see us and visit and see what's going on. That's D2 and D1. D2 is above I-10. D1 is below I-10. Come by and see me. Luck is where preparation meets opportunity. You can have a little bit of success at fishing. You could be like Carter Myers and have all the sense in the world. That rascal can flat show do it. He was raised right. Bring a child up in the way they should go, and when they grow old, they won't depart from it. Remember that right there. I like to remember it myself. Proverbs says 3 and 5, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. You got to get educated out there in the woods and everything that's going on. Get up off your fanny and get out there and stir, because you need to get around and enjoy life. If you go to a football game, you're going to see some old friends. You're going to visit with them and laugh and joke and come back and catch up and a hamburger, and you're going to support that stuff. If you get out there and shoot some clays, you're going to make memories with the grandkids. if you hunt, you're gonna make memories. It's all right to get in the woods right now and stir and look around if you want to. You ain't gonna spook them too much right now. They're gonna forget about that because they too worried about getting something to eat. So put your game cameras out. A lot of you do. I got mine out and enjoying seeing that. You'll see a few pictures I'm gonna share with you, and I think you'll enjoy it pretty good. All right, y'all, we're gonna take a break and come back and see you in just a few minutes. Good morning, and welcome back again to this last segment of Panhandle Outdoors. Hey, I want to give a shout out to Miss America. She's on her way to work this morning. If she ain't done there, works for people with disabilities at Sunland and Mariana. She is my support aide. She is something I lean on to help give me direction and guidance, and my travel mate. We just come back from way out west, seeing part of the world out there in them national parks, and flew out there, rode the train through the Rocky Mountaineer train ride, snow-capped mountains, wildlife, wonderful people. Y'all quit talking about these young'uns out there, because where I travel, I meet all kind of good, wholesome, polite people and young people, and they really appreciate your time. They do. I'm serious now. Look here, let's show some pictures and ramble about that. Look here. That's my old tractor, and that's one of my food plots, making preparation. Y'all see in the bucket there's a big old bag of sunflower seed. Not that I put them out for the bird to eat, but I plant them for the deer to eat the sunflowers. And of course there's a bag of triple 10 there. And I don't know, there's a big old seed right there in the middle. That's a watermelon. But that was for later on, because it was still, gosh, I think that was done in late July, anyhow. That was at the house right after a thunderstorm went through back in maybe early August. And that thing was blue sky in the background, and that thing was shining across there. That was just stunning, wasn't it? Man, make a puppy pull a freight train. It was something else, and I had to get a picture of it before I rode off, and I hope you enjoy it. At the house with a game camera. If you ain't got nothing else better to do, you can get you one of them game cameras and put it on a piece of property or in the back of your yard if you got wildlife coming around, and get some beautiful pictures. Them two right there, they've been bedding up near the house a little bit closer, near home, and had been running across the road or the yard in front of me while I was sitting on the front porch. The dogs were inside and not to bother them, but I don't know if it's 2 bucks or 2 does or what that is exactly, but we'll see. I hope it's 2 bucks, but maybe it won't much matter. Look at there. 2 hens, turkeys going across there. The problem is they so far from the management area, anywhere around there. I don't know anybody. I did see Hunter Smith had a gobbler in his yard, in his chicken pen, and I'm gonna try to find a gobbler to throw in there with them and see if we can't get them propagating and get some turkeys growing around there. Those had got pushed out of the management, I think. I don't know for sure. I ride around in the afternoon with my white pickup truck with my 2 dogs in the back, and I ride around. That's over on Butler Road. The deer population on East Jackson County is phenomenal. It is fantastic. But that was a mama and her little one right there. There's a bunch more. But folks, this is just a sample of what I see when I'm riding around out there. Every now and then you'll see a buck. Look here, out there near my box house, I planted some late season corn that's just about tossing. You see at the top, it's tossing out. And that's just something deer love cover, and they love food, kind of like you do a little bit. See the box house sitting back yonder? Yeah, see there? They just love it, something to browse in, and you ain't got to go out there and pour the corn out all of it. They can get in there and browse in it and pull in it themselves. There's another one right side the highway, a doe. She didn't have anything with her. I was surprised because I do see an awful lot of does at times that don't have fawns, and they could be bedded down somewhere. That's not uncommon either. When they get pushed, the old fawn will jump up out there and follow them off and get on the move. Yep. She's got an old big belly on like she ain't fawned yet, dropped yet. Y'all remember me talking about persimmons? That's right there at my food plot. A wide variation of things to keep the game around there. Those persimmons will be dropping on the ground. I've mowed the grass out and around underneath that tree so they can get to it and forage and get distracted so I can stick one. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Look, there's pears. They like pears just like you do. That's in the field right out there behind that pear tree. I'll be shooting clays very soon. That is a swamp chestnut oak tree that I planted and got stirring. Deep pot, they like to stick a deep root down like a pine tree does. So you got to have a deep pot to do those in, and they do so much better when you do that. If they don't, they'll find a way to get out the bottom of it. It's got a hole in it, trying to get in that water. Eric Porter from up there in North Carolina, his brother took him fishing the other day, and I told his mama I'd show his picture off, and he was tickled to get to go fishing. Yeah, he hooped and hollered and carried on, bragged about it, and was tickled. He enjoyed it. He did. I'm not going to tell you who put that up or why, but that's a duck blind in its infancy being built and prepared for what? That's right, duck season. There's a food plot right there where I planted peas and sunflowers, and the rain hit it, and it's up and shining, and they have been in there browsing on it. J.W. Miles with a triple tail, my grandson Walker, and the last picture. Look at that sunset over that peanuts. That is Trent Childs' field he showed the other day. All right, we enjoyed you. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. I always enjoy it, and see y'all another time. All right, God bless you.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.